Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe in Lagos.
Thanks to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwan. Thank God it's Friday. It means we're getting into a weekend of sporting action. Cecilia, the Premier League will resume right here in England. We're looking forward to it. I see a big fixture. Tottenham taking on Newcastle. And of course, the Nigeria Premier Football League. We're done with the first stanza. And there's so much to talk about. And tonight on the show, if you've been following us on the socials, we're going to be giving attention to football administration and management, Cecilia.
Yeah, definitely. Not just talking football administration. Sometimes you need to actually know what these administrators are doing outside the busy schedule concerning football. And of course, we'll also talk about Barcelona. The problem currently, they can't just assign some players. They're having issues. And the big one this weekend, two biggest English clubs are going into the game on Sunday. Contrasting faction, you will see Manchester United and, of course, Liverpool. I mean, they've won the most titles, but Manchester United right now 14 and Liverpool top of the table, 6 points clear. We'll talk about that game also on the show tonight. Yes, the CAF Confederations Cup will also get our attention. Enyimba, what's going on with Enyimba? A new coach is coming in, a new player also joining them. Or it's the same old same. They had a goalless draw against Ben Insurance. But this weekend, they will be in action, the CAF Confederations Cup, of course, against the weakest team supposedly in that group from Mozambique. They will be playing in New York. We'll discuss that, what they need to do to ensure at least they pick up their first 3 points in the group. They're still on just 1 point after 3 games. Not good enough for former champions, 2 times champions back-to-back. But the coach who was assistant to them when they won in 2004 is actually with them right now. See what's going to happen in that one. Yes, we'll be talking football administration first. And of course, get to meet the big fish in the studio. We have Amaju Pinnick right here in Lagos studio, live with us. It's been a long time, and I know it's the first time he's actually coming to our brand new studio for Sport Tonight. Last time we had you was actually on Sport this morning. Nice to have you, sir. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure. You know, this is a very beautiful studio, extremely beautiful. Of course, John Omo is always a game changer. I'm very proud of what he has been able to achieve in China.
Thank you for coming. Now, let's start off with. I know you're a very, very busy man. We're actually honored to have you in the studio tonight. I mean, we haven't outside. Yes, you do a lot of things concerning football, but we're not going to start off with football and some questions. I just want to know what you've been doing after you left the post as NFF president. Yes, I know you are executive member of, of FIFA, but that aside, former NFF president, a FIFA executive council member, but there's some other things you do outside football. Maybe I know some people just want to know what you do outside, being an administrator.
No. Football is just passion for me.
Okay.
I've been a businessman since I left university about 31 years ago. I mean, I've been into marine, offshore support services. Now I'm a farmer, quite a lot, construction, so I'm just a very modest businessman, and I thank God for my life. So look at me, the problem of Nigerian football, 8 years. But thank God, we still relate. We are still in football. It's something that is so deep in me. I'm so passion-driven about it. Since I couldn't play it, let me be among the administrators, so to speak. But trust me, just passion for it.
Yeah. Do you miss it? Do you miss that position, NFF president? Do you miss it?
Not really, because Ibrahim continuing is like, listen, in any position, there's what's called transience of power. And you must be prepared for it, So in any position, when you step in, be planning for your exit. And the same thing I did. I was so privileged to have served for 8 years. Nobody served for 4 years completely. I mean, if you look at the records.
Yes.
So, but I served for 8 years, so thanks to God Almighty, It was turbulent, but I beat my chest to say that, we did some things, and some of these things are shining till tomorrow, I'm proud to say that someone like Shehu Diko is now the executive chairman of the National Sports Commission. Ibrahim Gusso is also the president of the Nigerian Ball Federation. All of them, with all due respect, served under me. So in terms of human capital, I believe I delivered. in all modesty, on a lighter note.
All right, I mean, are there any regrets? I mean,
no regrets at all. Yeah. No, sorry. We've gone far beyond that, you know.
Yeah.
You know, what I just try to do now is just to be expanding my businesses, upgrading to what we're not to do, getting deeper into it, and trying to take care of the home front and take care of a lot of things. I have a foundation that is growing in leaps and bounds, you know, and I have quite a lot that we are doing in all modesty. So I'm a very, very busy person. And in FIFA and CAF, I play very integral roles, you know. I'm the vice chairman of the AFCON organizing committee, you know. Then in FIFA, I play a lot of roles, you know, very critical roles, you know. And so we're just waiting, and we thank God Almighty for everything. We thank you. We thank the channels that was part of my development. Okonakpa and Austin, I thank you. Even, you know, John Momo and his team, the wife, everybody. So I'm happy, you know. You partly shaped whatever I am today, so I'm happy.
Yeah, we're glad that we're part of that success story. Now, still staying on success story, I mean, you talked about, you know, you're involved in the last AFCON. People actually said, you know, Motsepe talked about it was the most watched AFCON. I mean, what did you guys do differently in Côte d'Ivoire? The next one is not going to be the same time. You know, the last one was in January. We all enjoyed it. But this time around, we're having it a winter. It's going to be the first time we are having a Nations Cup, November, crossing over to the next year, December, January. I mean, that's what we're having this year. So, I mean, you are part of this organization. What are we expecting? I mean, that timing, I don't know if you're the right person to ask, but that timing of December, January for a Nations Cup, I mean,
you know, a lot of thoughts went into it before we finally agreed on that December date. If you look at, we also look at harmonizing our calendar with FIFA calendar. And, you know, this year is a very big year for club football, you know. And the Club World Cup is going to be taking place in the US in the summer. Yeah. Excuse me, and some of these players, they are going to be in AFCON, are supposed to also be in the Club AFCON. And there are times that you can, so a lot and of course, we're also dealing with some of our partners. But like I said, all these things, any issue regarding CAF, I'm not meant to be saying it. It's just like my strong personal opinion. Yeah. And I mean, that I must come out to say what I'm saying now. So it's nothing really, but I believe the AFCON in Morocco is going to be trebled what you saw in Côte d'Ivoire. But Côte d'Ivoire, they did very well for the first time in a very long time. CAF made over $70 million as profit. And we also gave back to the Côte d'Ivoire Federation as solidarity, you know. And, you know, and you can imagine the economy boom, over $2 billion US. That was the report that we got, you know. So it's like Lagos is what you call the dirty December. There were a lot of people that came into Lagos. I was just looking at, geez, all the hotels were booked, all the clubs, everywhere, you know. So, I mean, kudos to Babajide Sanwo-Olu. I believe they did something different. Yeah, so finally taking Lagos from Ghana, you know, the hype. Those of us are a bit of entertainment as well. So we know what transpired. So kudos to the Lagos State government and their team.
Yeah, I know Austin want to chip in this summer. Austin, you ready?
Yeah.
Whenever Austin wants to talk, I panic, you know. Even though it's my small in-law, so.
Happy New Year.
That's what I said softly.
Good to have you in the studio. I think the last time we did was...
He actually directed me that if you don't come to our studio, you must come to our studio.
So thank you very
much, sir, for directing me.
Good to have you around. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Let's get into it. Football, looking beyond football in Nigeria in 2025. What areas do you think we should... Let me take that back. What issues do you think we must address in 2025 to give us a glorious future?
Yeah, I want to be emphatic about this. The President Bola Tinubu, GCFRO, has done, you know, has addressed A to Z of what he just said by appointing Shehu Diko and his team and Bukola Olapade as chairman and DG respectively. these are football people, whether you like it or not, even though with their experience and background in sports, especially Bukola, which of course we assist tremendously in other sporting associations. But you have somebody that is so passion-driven about football development as chairman of the Sports Commission. Then you also have the NFF president. You have the general secretary who has just been reappointed. And trust me, they are working as a team. And once in a while, I also intervene whenever they need my assistance to talk to. We are like a team, working in ensuring that we get everything right. In terms of the structure, the human structure, in politics, they say, it gets structure, it not gets structure. Now we have the structure right in terms of human structure. Then the next step is to see how we can get the facilities in the country right. Then of course, trust me, I just give these guys that are there now in the next 8 years, a lot will happen for Nigerian sports. Like I told Shehu, don't promise anybody that in 4 years' time you're going to win gold in the Olympics. You can't. You know, it will be a miracle for you to win. You know, Olympic preparation starts between 8 to 12 years for you to win. Of course, there are quick impact areas where you can say maybe an athlete has prepared to this certain level. You can nudge the athlete, you can push him, you can support him, and miraculously he can get to the podium level and possibly win gold. But don't make promises you cannot keep, because Nigerians will hold you responsible. And I believe he knows that and he's doing this already. But trust me, the duo of Shehu Diko and Bukola Olapade, they are an amazing duo. And trust me, these are guys that are not hungry.
Yeah. Take
the word, it's quite elemental. They are not hungry. These are people, the only hunger they have is to deliver, is to change the face of sports in this country. So it gladdens my heart, and I want to say thank you, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for this. It's so amazing. Even the FIFA president congratulated Shehu Diko, and we were together in Doha, and he said, wow, so excited about it. Everybody, Shehu is still a member of the stakeholders committee in FIFA. He's also a member of the interclub committee in CAF. That shows his strength in terms of global recognition and acceptability. Yeah. So we are very happy about it. And like I said, it's not everybody that must be in a position. Yeah. You know, I will consult for them free of charge. I will assist whenever is necessary, because there are some experiences I garnered while I was in Delta, you know, which of course can impact in other areas aside football. You know, of course, you know my story with S.A. Bruma, you know our story with swimming, you know, all these are areas that we can assist them. I don't want to be in any governmental position. You know, I just want to assist. And that is it. I'm a Nigerian. Listen, I love this country to my marrow. Everybody knows that. I don't have any other country that I call my own outside this country. So people must believe in this country. Yes. You know, this December we tell you that Nigeria is the greatest country in the world. Just this December. They call it DETTY. I like the word D-E-T-T-Y, not D-R-I-T.
Yeah, they have to change it, because that was what they had. Yeah. And then we entered 2024, it was something else. Yeah.
Kudos again to Jide Shaolu. Thank you
for that. I think where you were talking about what they've done, I mean, Anthony Joshua, the likes of Anthony Joshua actually come to Lagos, Ogun, to celebrate, you know, our Christmas celebration, and also the fact they had to say something like, it will tell others in diaspora, those who feel like coming home, they can always come home, you know, to celebrate with us.
So trust me, next year,
having an environment, you know,
next December, Lagos will not be able to accommodate people that everybody wants to come to Lagos. People from Ghana now, they want to come to Lagos. Everybody wants to come to Lagos. So I think there's something going on very right in the government, even at the sub-national level and also the national level. So people are excited about, you know, this country somehow. And let's just believe. I'm a believer in this country. Let's just believe in it. Okay,
you mentioned something about infrastructure when you were answering Austin's question. I mean,
we have major infrastructural deficits.
Okay.
You know, I presented a paper at one of the most prestigious universities in Africa, the University of Ibadan, on infrastructural development and maintenance culture. And I was even going to say that even in the late 60s, the Emir of Qatar, of Saudi, the king of Saudi used to come to UCH for treatment. That same UCH. I'm telling you, find out. You are shocked. Yeah. But I'm telling you the truth. But lack of maintenance, culture. What is culture of maintenance? Knowing when to clean. And it starts from your home. How can a country that have hosted the Under-17 World Cup, Under-20 World Cup, there was Bauchi, there was Port Harcourt, there was Enugu, there was Lagos, there was Ibadan, that was Liberty Stadium, there was Liberation Stadium in Port Harcourt. Today, we have only the Uyo Stadium. Only the Uyo Stadium. Even if today they say they want to host World Cup for Africa, Uyo Stadium, with all due respect to the government of Akwa Ibom State, will not even pass it. You know why? It's a beautiful facility, but it doesn't have one of the major requirements.
Media.
No, the hospitality suite. Hospitality suite accounts for a minimum of 20 to 30% of match day revenue. So that's why I keep saying, if you want to conceive a stadium, if you want to, the idea of make sure you talk to the Nigerian Football Federation, or in turn we talk to FIFA, and FIFA will give you the current, what's called cahier de charge, condition to host. The current cahier de charge, you look at it. Even the Abuja Stadium, I'm happy I saw the chairman, National Sports Commission, talking about it, and of course he has a relationship with FIFA, even without me, interfacing with them, knowing exactly what we can do to upgrade. Akwa Ibom Stadium it can be situated anywhere in the world, but if there's still the possibility, we can now go and get hospitality suite so that it can pass. It's a 30,000 seating capacity stadium. It can pass, but we need that. So anywhere you want to conceive, it's not just say you want to build a stadium, you put a pitch. No, even media plays a very critical role, apart from the players. The next critical sector FIFA looks at is the media. They have about 7 to 9 facilities in the stadium. Press center, press tribune, media center, mixed zone, media exit, media conference center. Why? Because it's media that markets. It's media that sells. So FIFA and CAF do not joke with media. So all those are things you take into cognizance when you are building a stadium infrastructure. It is very, very important. So I can tell you that with the coming of these guys, in the next 2-3 years, Nigeria will have practically each state will have at least where they will have accreditation, and that's where we can come in. Once you have the standard, we'll bring in CAF, we'll bring in FIFA, they do the accreditation, and they get it approved, and we list it. But I believe 100% this can be achieved.
Austin, it's like there's hope when it comes to infrastructure in Nigeria.
Yeah, I always talk about that. Look, we need to fix it. That's very important for football development in Nigeria, and I'm glad that the former NFF president has also mentioned that. Mr. Pinnick, let's talk about your role in CAF and FIFA. You are in the Confederation of African Football Executive Committee and a member of the FIFA Council. People always ask me, Pinnick is in these positions. How does he aid football development in Nigeria? How have you used your role to assist our country's football?
First, you understand that the FIFA Council, there are 37 members in the FIFA Council. And our oath of allegiance is global. Whatever you do for your country should be in calculated ambiguity. I want to play the fifth. For CAF, it's the same thing. We have 22 members. It's continental. What you do for your country, leave it at you. And that's it. We are going into the election of CAF and FIFA. You know, when you go to court, there's things that you say will be used against you.
We agree you can plead the fifth, but when we have you, countries like Libya shouldn't be messing with us.
There's nothing that they've requested that I do that I've not done. There's nothing. There's a lot that we did, but it's not for me to see it publicly. Channels TV is global. Everybody's watching. I saw your tweets. So people want to see and mark the negative part of this conversation, of this interaction, I'm not ready for them, okay? So I'm just going to tell you, we've done what we need to do as Nigerians. We've done what we need to do as CAF Executive Committee member, protecting and projecting CAF. We've done what we need to do as FIFA Council member, also projecting. But the truth about FIFA and CAF, Gianni Infantino is an African, so to speak. He loves Africa to his marrow. He doesn't joke with Africa. He loves his country. And he says that all the time. It's beyond religion. Musepe, of course, is Pan-African. So these are people I deal with, I talk to every day. And I know their heart, deep inside their heart, what they feel. Look at Musepe's image, what it has done for African football.
Yes.
In terms of marketing, organically. When people see him, they see integrity, they see decorum,
transparency.
They see the go-to guy. And they see that whatever funds is being put here will be spent judiciously. The same thing with FIFA. So we're happy to have these two people at the helm of affairs, both in CAF and FIFA. And we're happy that they recognize the importance of some countries in Africa, especially Nigeria. That I can tell you for free.
Fantastic. We'll keep you Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. Now, when we come back, the current NFF board, what are they doing differently to promote football in the country? Amaju Pinnick will tell us. Don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning, sports-loving Channels Television. We're taking a look at football in Nigeria beyond 2025. I've got an executive member of the CAF Executive Committee and FIFA Council member, Amaju Pinnick, in the Lagos studio. I saw you laughing when I said you would tell us what this current board is doing. Let me tell you why I said that, Amaju Pinnick. I remember the interview I had with you in London and the one we did in Doha. You admitted you made some mistakes during your time as NFF president. When you look at this current board, are they making those same mistakes?
Well, I do not. You see, what I say is always human to make mistakes, you know. Like every day I wake up every in the morning and I pray to God to make me human enough to make mistakes. But importantly and elementally, be courageous enough to learn from my mistakes. And that's what I do, is human. You know, and some one or two mistakes. But you see, I don't think the board has done, if they had won this Nations Cup, this last night, it was just like a whiskers. They would have won it. Nobody will be saying what they have said. But now they've qualified for CHAN, they are struggling to qualify for World Cup, and I pray, you know, with the coming of the Shehu and Bukola Saraki working together, you know, and I hear the president is coming out with also a support group, you know, we believe we will still qualify by God's grace, you know, so it's tough, you know, because if you also look at other sectors of the economy, which one is smiling? So Nigeria is going through a phase. It's going through a phase right now. And it affects every fabric. It's not just limited to football. Every fabric of the society is affected. But see, we are coming out of it. Every experiment this government has done is paying off. So we are coming out of it. You know, look at two refineries are working now beside the Dangote refinery. A lot of positives. So we should always be thinking positively. The same way we should be thinking about the Nigerian Football Federation. Very positively. I don't think they've done anything fundamentally wrong. I know they have challenges with funds. I know they have challenges with their sponsors. And when you say sponsors, who funds the federation? I know government funds certain level to certain level. Sponsors. And when you say sponsors, you talk about, sorry to say, Nigerian breweries. Nigerian breweries sponsors NFF. They run diesel. How much is diesel? You know, so it affects, that's what I'm saying, remotely or immediately, all this affects, you know, the workings of the federation. But trust me, they do not want to be where they are right now. They want to succeed. They want to go beyond it. They want to put smiles on the face of Nigeria. I speak to the president every other day, we talk, and I know that he's very religious about one qualifying Nigeria for the World Cup. You know, so it's going to be a tough call. It's going to be very, very tough. I don't want to raise the hopes of any Nigerian that we will qualify, but we will try our human extreme in ensuring. When I mean human extreme, we'll get to that on a scale of 1 to 10. We'll get to that 10 and see if we can make it happen. you know, and we believe it's divine, you know, so let's just wait and see. And let's not be praying negatively.
Okay.
Let's look at the positive picture and see how we can qualify.
Yeah, talking about that, let's talk about coaches now. For instance, I mean, the Super Eagles doesn't have a substantive coach right now. We have Austin Eguavoen.
I know. Let me just cut it short.
So why don't we have
I know a lot is going on.
Men and women,
Listen, I know a lot is going on. First, they need to have funds so that they don't say that we are owing. And at that, the chairman of the Sports Commission is working with them in ensuring that that is done, which also, I believe they've done that just last week.
Okay.
Anyway or not, I'm sure they'll be announcing a coach, enterprising coach. I mean, I've heard about, you know, who they are bringing, and I don't think...
Can give us a...
I will never do that, you know. It might not be the guy after all, so, I mean, I don't know. So, but I know they are working...
The coach has to do men and women, or focus just on the men?
Let's qualify for World Cup. Men, you know. And they are, listen, they have to make their priorities. You know, I mean, women to me, it was always priority, you know, so any day, anytime, they made us very proud, and I'm very proud of them. But the truth is, they are coming out. It's not just a coach with a rating of backroom staffing that will help him. And that's what they are doing. They don't just want to deal with a coach who is going to be the physical trainer, who is going to be the goalkeeper trainer, who is going to be the match analyst, who is going to be the video analyst, who is going to be the defender trainer. They are coming out with an entire gamut of coaching crew. You know, so when they land...
That's capital intensive.
So they have to look for the money. If you want results,
you have to...
If you want quality results, you must put your mouth where your money belongs. That's the truth.
Okay, let's quickly talk about women's football before we go back to the men's football now. Super Falcons, they're chasing La Decima. That's how we've tagged the 10th. I mean, they couldn't do that in Morocco. We are back in Morocco again. I mean, Nations Cup wasn't held last year. I mean, I know the calendar wasn't there. A whole lot of things happened, and it wasn't held. But this year, it's going to be it's going to be in July 5th to 26th. That's when the Women's Africa Cup of Nations is hosting, you know, being hosted by Morocco. Now, the Super Falcons, the quality, we know we have the quality of players. And I mentioned coaches. We have Justin Madugu, who is, you know, also interim coach. We don't know if he's going to be the one that will take them there. We're still waiting to hear from NFF. I'm not going to ask you that, I know. But with the crop of players that we have, can we actually, you know, win our title back? We have 9. We're waiting for that 10.
I'm 100% sure we'll win. Our players, I still talk to some of our girls, you know, and they are very, they want to win that 10 title. They are very desirous. You know, Rashida Ajibade, she's still very extremely enterprising. The young girls, Gift, they are still there, you know, the experienced ones, you know, so it's still a force to be reckoned with. It's still #1 in Africa, the Super Falcons, and they want to maintain that. So it's not just going to be, they are going to go there. Other people will be pushovers, not the Super Falcons, that I can assure you.
Interesting. I mean, we know that the Nations Cup and the Euros are going to be at the same time. We didn't expect that, but when we saw the calendar for when CAF mentioned, like, Euros in Switzerland, it's same time with, you know, AFCON. And we remember the last time we played Morocco, all our attention were actually on the Super Falcons, even when Nations was also going on. But how will CAF actually market this in a way that focus will also be on AFCON? Because
when it comes to issues like this, we minimize our mistakes. Okay. So they would have done a lot of intelligence. Are
there programs to build up to it to actually advertise it?
See, we are working in ensuring that we have the requisite publicity, requisite coverage, and requisite results.
Okay, we can't wait for that. Austin? Yeah.
Let's talk about international football politics. The FIFA Council elections will come up this year. Are you in a good position to retain your seats?
Well, you just be prayerfully hopeful. Prayerfully hopeful. It's election. I'm bracing up for it, you know. But I am, by God's grace, I'm hopeful, I'm prayerful. And that's it. I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God. It's destiny. If this is the end of global football, the worst you can mention is that Amaju Pinnick, OFROI, if you don't know that one, ex-FIFA Council member, ex-CAF executive member, but I believe for now, by God's grace, it's not my portion. Let's leave that.
Okay, leaving it there. Before I let you go, we'll talk about youth football development. I know you were really big on that when you were commissioner and also in Delta State and everything. You did a lot of grassroots program over there, and that's why we saw at a point Delta State was actually dominating the space, and they're still dominating now. You know, from the program you started. Now, CAF and FIFA are really big on youth football right now. This year we're going to be having the under-17, Nations Cup. Of course, I know Nigeria under-17 level will not really be fantastic since 2015. After the likes of Osimhen, we've not really had it so good. For the women also, we have Olowo Kere, who you appointed, and since that time, he's been able to build crop of players that even some of them are even started playing for the Super Falcons. Now, what are we going to do differently for the guys? With the women, we're seeing the successes, we're seeing results. We usually don't recycle players like we used to. We're seeing more talents coming in. But for the boys, I mean, for a long time, on the 17th, we haven't gotten it right. Is there something we can do in youth football to ensure, yes, maybe next time we're talking about the World Cup, we have, a golden eaglet.
I'm sure when you invite the president of Nigerian Football Federation, all those are questions you direct at him.
No, what I'm saying is
but I can tell you, I know they are doing quite a lot in that direction. Because if you have youth football,
yes,
you can have the senior football, because there's a symbiotic relationship and transition from junior to intermediate and to the seniors. And I know they have a program in that direction, even up to the school program. You saw that they were in Morocco about a few weeks ago for the under-15. So that will tell you, there are so many things I cannot say, but I want to give them credit because I think they are doing the right thing in that direction.
Okay. Do you have any message for Nigerians? Also, you have more questions? That's the last one. You have message for Nigerians before we let you go?
Just believe in this country. Believe in this country. It accounts for 70% of Africa's population. It's the biggest black nation in the world. And the largest educated immigrant in the US. I can go on and on. There are some noisemakers in UK. I don't want to mention one of their names. Let's not talk about them. Let's look at the positive, the Anthony Joshuas of this world. We're all global citizens. We represent Nigeria. We represent Africa. And we are very happy. So believe in this country. Let's just be positive thinkers. It's very, very important.
Amaju Pinnick, thank you so much for finding time to actually join us in Lagos studio tonight on the show.
Thank you. It's always an honor. I hope I come here again to say that we have qualified for the World Cup.
Yes.
To say that we have won the Nations Cup. To say that our under-17, they are doing well to retain the 10 years ago. It's 10 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
10 years.
Yeah.
Wakali, 10 years. Lazarus, 10 years. Those are my boys. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the show. All right. Quickly, we'll get to listen to Pep Guardiola talking about Kevin De Bruyne, because right now he said it's none of his business what Manchester City are trying to do to bring in players in January, but they will only bring in players that can fit into the squad.
He had problems in the last I would say year and a half. Like this year, many players. But of course, when he's consistent and fit and he can play regularly, I said many times, he's a really important player for us, decisive player. But it's going to happen for the club, for how he's going to perform until the end of the season, the age that he has, and many things. I think the club has to think about it. It will not be easy, and maybe we sign, and maybe we don't sign anyone. So I think the club has to be wise. Don't do it for do it. Just to add players, of course, for the situation that we have and put a perspective for the players that are injured, for consistent injuries for many time. Of course, the club has to do it, but I don't know it will be possible to do it.
Kevin De Bruyne is one of the players that have actually helped Pep Guardiola all these years. I mean, he has started just 8 games so far this season because of injuries. The last 2 seasons, it has not been easy for him. Austin, we just take a look at the English Premier League, the games for this weekend. We're going to start off with games for Saturday before we try as much as possible to dissect Kevin De Bruyne, what his next point of call will be, if he will be leaving Manchester City anytime soon. For Saturday's game, you have Tottenham and Newcastle United. Aston Villa and Leicester will also be in action. Bournemouth and Everton, and of course you have Crystal Palace and Chelsea. So you have some other games still on Saturday. Manchester City are up against West Ham. You have Southampton, Brentford, Brighton and Arsenal who are chasing Liverpool on their heels to see if they can wrestle the title from them. But they're 6 points clear there. Now let's move to games for Sunday. That's where you have the most successful clubs in English Premier League. Both of them will be in action, contrasting faction as I mentioned earlier. And then you have Fulham and Ipswich Town also in action on Sunday. Of course, Liverpool and Manchester United will conclude the match day for Sunday. So Austin, I mean, we've seen Manchester City and Manchester United. It's like there's something that has been dropped at Etihad and Old Trafford that things are not looking so good for these Manchester clubs. But then when you're having the last 2 times, I mean, last 3 times that Manchester United have played Liverpool, one was 7-0, another one was 4-0. In 9 years, they haven't beaten Liverpool. This is another one for Murray, who says the team actually need leadership.
Yeah. And I think Eric Ten Hag also said that, but let's see. We've seen United over the years, step up in big games. It's okay to disrespect them now because of what they're going through, but I said the same thing to people when they were playing the FA Cup final, and they did prove me right. They won. When they went to the Etihad, they also stunned Manchester City, and they were really tactical, But I think what they're just lacking is the will and the zeal from the players to do the unthinkable. I think if they stay to themselves now that with this current situation, if we can beat City at the Etihad and beat Liverpool at Anfield, it might just turn their season around, Cecilia. So that leadership, they need to get it. I don't know if Bruno Fernandes will be in this one or if he's suspended. Yeah, okay, so he'll be back. So that's a good one. For United, they need to play as a team. They need to believe in themselves again. They need to say this is Manchester United, the most successful club in English history. They shouldn't be doing what they are doing at the moment. So let's see. It's a big one. You notice the way I stayed away from it in my introduction because everyone is talking about it and expect it to be that super game. I think it might just be a drab one if United goes there with a tactical play in mind and lock up stuff and try to catch Liverpool on the counter the way they did against Manchester City. So, but with this Liverpool team, they've shown us that they can be ruthless, and they can, break anything that they feel like breaking, and have fun with themselves. So let's see what football will give us on Sunday, Cecilia.
Yeah, that's what we'll be hoping for on Sunday. Now let's leave England and come back home to Africa, precisely Nigeria. Uyo Stadium, Enyimba will be hosting. Yes, they will be hosting Black Bulls of Maputo. That's a team from Mozambique. And of course, that's the game for Sunday. And Al-Masri and Zamalek will also be in action, the 2 Egyptian side. For Enyimba, they are yet to pick up 3 points. They have just 1 point after 3 games. Austin, there are changes that have been made. But after they played against Benin Insurance, we're not sure if this will work because you have Benga Ogubote, back in the. You have a new coach with Stanley Neguma, with the team. When Okemodi won the Champions League with them, he was the assistant coach. Brownie there, a former Super Eagles player. He plays for Sharks, before he left. At the age of 20, before he traveled abroad. Now he's back with Enyimba. So he is with them. But then it was goalless against Benin Insurance. You were thinking the new coach bounce usually happens because they haven't won again in 10 matches or something. So Enyimba right now, they're floundering, they're in trouble, but they will be hosting this team from Maputo. Also, remember when the draw was done, we talked about the fact that this might just be the whipping boys. But from all indication, Enyimba is taking that title.
Yeah, first when you missed it and talked about Benga Ogubote shooting star songs, I said leave our coach, because Benga Ogubote is doing big things with them at the moment. Stanley Eguma is back, and Stanley Eguma is experienced. He knows continental football in and out, and he's that kind of coach that can get our results. But I think the problem with this Enyimba team is mental. I think most of the players just want to leave. They just want to go either to Libya or go to Sudan or Almerek or go abroad to play football, because that's what I've looked into that team and that's what I see. Coach Yema did try. I think he brought some style into the team. They were playing the touching football, but they were not just clinical in the final third. And you can see it in their last game at Black Bulls. They played possessive football. They had shots on target, but they weren't just scoring. Black Bulls had 3 chances and scored 3 goals. So what must Enyimba do? Right now, my confidence is low, Cecilia. I won't come here and tell you that, oh, they will beat Black Bulls and qualify. But they need to show workings. If you're playing in Uyo, yes, it's not in Aba, but it's in Nigeria. Show that you can have some level of dominance, you know. So let's wait to see what they can do. But I know their confidence is low. And with the way the table is now, you know, Black Bulls will be praying for those Egyptian teams to cancel themselves. They are second on the log now. So they might just come with the mindset that they can stun Enyimba in Uyo, and this is football where anything can happen.
Interesting. We'll see about that, because you think the coming in of Brownie there might just have something, because when Stanley Noguma was saying something about when you have a player who can score, maybe it's going to bring in the goals, because the problem have been they're not been able to score goals, and also the fact that they can concede goals easily, not looking good for a team like Enyimba.
Well, class is permanent, Cecilia. Yeah. Brownie there has played the better part of his football. Yes, he will come and, you know, do his beats, but this is team football, you know. So only Brownie there cannot turn it around. Put Messi in this Enyimba team. They're not going to win the CAF Confederation Cup. Put Ronaldo in that team. They're not going to, because it's teamwork. But I like the mentions. I like the attention Brownie there's coming has given to the club. And we saw some, you know, sparks from him in the last game. He came on as a substitute. But Stanley Noguma is speaking from an angle of a coach who knows that if he sees a quality player, there are things he can use him to do, you know. But it's Brownie there, Cecilia. He can only do what he can do as far football knowledge and experience. But this is the MPFL. You go ask Ahmed Musa, who was even really, really active. There are some places you go to and you will be looking for the ball for 90 minutes. You won't see it. But the break is on now. Let everybody refresh. Let the impact see what they can use this period to do in the CAF Confederation Cup, and then come back to see how they can get back to winning ways in the league. Yeah,
it's really important. Right, we'll leave Enyimba and the CAF Confederations Cup and quickly talk Barcelona before we leave tonight. Hansi Flick Austin is up to something. I mean, Daniel Moore is likely going to go, and of course he doesn't want him to leave, but that license they've actually applied for, we don't know what's going to happen at the end of the day. What La Liga is saying, they're trying to have this cup whereby you don't spend so much, especially when you're not making so much money. A club like Barcelona haven't managed their finances so well. But let's listen to him. He's optimistic despite all the challenges they're facing in terms of trying to retain the players that they've got right now. Austin, Hansi Flick, you definitely don't want to be in his shoes. It started so well, but right now, not looking good. Third on the log, I guess.
It's so frustrating. I don't wish to be in Hansi Flick's situation. They lost a second appeal to register players. They don't meet the La Liga wage cap. The club is just upside down, and these players, they just want to play football.
Yeah.
The coach just want to coach, but this is administration dealing with Barcelona. You know, they've got the Spanish Cup game against a fourth-tie club. Maybe they will just use that one, see if they can win it, and hope that, you know, they can actually register these players. This is just heartbreaking. This is the great Barcelona that has produced world-class players in this sort of situation. They cannot meet wage cap. They cannot register players. It's just getting to be like it's a BADFC in Lagos. Crazy. That's it. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
And thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Good night.